You should be angry too. So here's some other new information. The names of the people shot. Butler County investigators said Hancock opened fire during lunch in the cafeteria. School officials said he was on the wrestling team. I mean, just look at this reporting. Who gives a fuck if he's on the wrestling team? I'll tell you why they put that in a second. 4 students were injured. 2 were shot and 2 others suffered injuries from shrapnel. I mean, what was the guy throwing? Fucking grenades? Did he plant bombs? Did he plant 200 fucking explosives like the Columbine shooters? Another hoax? The reporting doesn't even make sense. Shrapnel doesn't say he was shooting a shotgun. According to Butler County Sheriff Richard Jones, the students shot are Cameron Smith, 15, Cooper Caffrey, 14. Caffrey was also on the wrestling team. Who gives a fuck? Officials said one of the victims was shot multiple times. The other was shot once. The 2 who were injured are Brant Murray, 14, and Catherine Doucette, 14. School officials said, I just want to pause right there. If you go back and look at the Marysville school shooting, which I exposed and got my house robbed for days later, almost all the victims were 14. The word dead equals 14. They like to code that number in these shooting hoaxes. There's been a lot of 14-year-old shooters over the years. School officials said that Smith and Cafferty remained hospitalized and they are doing very well and are in very high spirits. I'm sure their GoFundMe accounts are boosting those spirits as well. Remember Robbie Parker, right after his daughter was supposedly shot, he went on the camera like this. I'm Robbie Parker, and I have a Facebook page which you can donate to. People are fucking stupid, Truth Seeker. Anyway, look at the names of these victims. Cameron Smith, 3333, the number of the hoax. What's the next guy's name? Cooper Cafferty, CC33. Then who do they got? Brant. Who the fuck's named Brant? Brant Murray. Murray, another name with 33 gematria. Murray the big way is 96 like Freemason. This is a Freemason-sponsored hoax. Then we get Catherine Doucette. Doucette, a name with 93 gematria like propaganda. Her initials break down to 11-4 or 411. Numbers that have to do with death and assassination. It's just always the same. All of these shootings are the same. If you think this is all a coincidence, as so many people write, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to come out with a new brand of clothing, and I'm going to be fucking rich. It's going to be called Coincidence Theorist, and every fucking American's going to want one. Because that's what lives in this nation. A bunch of people who think everything's a fucking coincidence. Have you ever heard of coincidence? Do you know how many fucking idiots have written that comment on my channel? It's like, have you ever heard of 1,000 videos showing the same fucking thing? The odds of that being a coincidence, the odds of me predicting every fucking sports championship, right? The odds of me showing the pattern and then shootings falling within that pattern, this is all way out of the probability of coincidence. If I was sitting at a gambling table, winning hand after hand because I knew the numbers, would you sit there and go, man, that guy's really good at coincidence? So anyway, check this out. Wrestling team, as they mentioned twice, has gematria 58, just like Freemasonry. Also, they said this was in Middletown, Ohio. It turns out it's in Madison, Ohio, but the media reported it this way. I guess there's a West Middletown Township right where Madison is. Anyway, Middletown, Ohio, wrestling team, this same gematria, 166. A number that connects to 9/11. Speaking of shooting hoaxes, remember the Columbine shooters back in 1999 said they fantasized about hijacking planes and flying them into buildings in New York City. Dylan Klebold was born on September 11th. This is what I mean when I say these shooting hoaxes are all part of an ongoing script, an ongoing narrative with clues dropped for the next hoax to come. So anyway, with all this 58, it made me want to look and see if there was any other clues about shootings in Ohio, and sure enough, there was. I didn't even remember this story, but apparently there was a shooting at a high school February 27th, 2012 at Chardon High School in Chardon, Ohio. And this shooting took place on the 58th day of the year. Freemasonry equals 58. They call this the Chardon High School shooting, which has gematria of 139, just like Freemasonry the big way. 58 the small way, 139 the big way. This shooting took place on the 58th day of the year. Show you what else is funny about this shooting. The day it happened on was a date with the numerology as you see. Remember that this was a life lesson number date of 34. The word murder equals 34. They said the shooter's name was TJ Lane, gematria of 62 and 17, like Mason the big way, Mason the small way. They said he was 17 years old, killed the small way 17. His birth name was Thomas Michael Lane. Of course, they get a name with the 33 in there. Of course, Michael is a common name. But so often these shooters, they'll use the name Michael because of its 33 gematria. They said that Thomas Michael Lane did his killing with a 22. The name Thomas has gematria of 22. Thomas Michael Lane equals 69 and 78. He was sentenced in court March 19th, the 78th day of the year. With regards to 78, that's the speed that records spin at. And the Masons love to code these numbers that have to do with cycles and circles, such as 78 revolutions per minute. February 27th, if you take the number 22 and divide it by 7, you get the number for pi, also having to do with cycles and circles, numbers that routinely show up in shooting hoaxes again and again. The first person to die from this shooting was named Daniel Parmeter. The way his name's spelled, gematria of 79, like murder. Remember the shooter, this guy, James Austin Hancock, the small way, gematria of 79, the big way, 187, numbers that routinely show up in the coding. The next day, another person died, and another person supposedly went into fatal brain damage. His name was Russell King Jr., name gematria of 58, shooting on the 58th day of the year. The other person to die was named Demetrius Hewlin. He died February 28, 2012, a date with 42 numerology, and his name gematria is also 42. This is what I mean. Coding by the numbers. The names often sync up with the date, with the location, with tributes to the Freemasons. Again and again and again. The day he died and the other guy got permanent brain damage, a date with 62 numerology, matching Mason, matching the name of the shooter. 3517 numerology, again matching Mason, the name of the shooter, and 42 for Freemason and Demetrius. The day he died on and the other guy got his brain damaged, the 59th day of the year, which is the kill number in Jewish gematria. You can still watch this news footage. The heroes from this story are supposedly this big fat ass who looks like a police officer, Frank Hall, and the other teacher that's also supposedly a hero is Joseph Ricci, or Ricci. Both names, Hall and Ricci, have 33 gematria. Joseph Ricci matches up with the numerology of the date of the shooting. Frank Hall has the coding for death. It's all a hoax, truth seeker. Ricci, the big way, 42 like Freemason. Hoaxes by the numbers again and again. It is undeniable. In the story, they say on his Facebook page on December 30th, a date with 42 numerology, they say he gave a hint that he was going to do this shooting, and then the shooting came 59 days later, the kill number in Jewish gematria. Also, with regards to Sublime, where we began at the beginning, that song's a tribute to the Rodney King riots. Rodney King, born on 4/2. Rodney King equals 59. He was beaten on 3/3, March 3rd by the police. Police equals 33. LAPD equals 33. He would die at age 47. In all of these propaganda events that are meant to divide us, make us angry, the same numbers are coded. And again, this Ohio school shooting that just happened the other day, on a date with 47 numerology, Ohio, one of two states with a 47 gematria, Middletown gematria 47, lunchroom gematria 47. Can't say it enough. Hoaxes by the numbers. Until next time.